The paradox is striking.
Many highly intelligent people feel profoundly lonely.
This is not a social failure.
It is a direct consequence of their cognitive functioning.
Psychology explores several mechanisms behind this isolation.
What is intelligence in this context?
It's not just the IQ,
But the capacity to process information in depths.
And to perceive complex systems.
Why does this quality often lead to solitude?
The first reason is the increased selectivity.
Sharp minds have very high social standards.
They do not appreciate superficiality.
Small talk or aimless conversation quickly exhausts them. They are looking for substance and intellectual resonance. Their time is precious and solely invested in enrichment.
Their social filter is extremely rigorous.
They prefer nourishing solitude to bad company.
It is a quest for absolute quality, not quantity of friends.
This need for depth drastically reduces their circle.
They can be perceived as distant or even arrogant.
While they are simply intolerant of boredom.
Then comes the communication gap.
Their brains work at a different speed. Analysis and synthesis are almost instantaneous.
They anticipate the conclusions even before the end of the sentence.
Hence the asynchrony in the exchanges.
They must constantly slow down their flow of thought.
This deceleration is mentally fatiguing. They get bored or frustrated in casual conversations.
Their interests are often complex or highly specialized.
Finding peers capable of keeping up with their pace is difficult.
They feel compelled to oversimplify their ideas.
This necessity of constant popularization erodes the desire to share.
They end up self-censoring.
Silence becomes a method of cognitive energy saving.
Intelligence also promotes autonomy and independence.
These individuals are often very self-sufficient.
They excel at solving their own problems.
Whether it is logistical, emotional, or intellectual.
They do not feel the constant need for external validation.
Their main source of satisfaction comes from within.
Learning or creation.
It reduces their traditional social dependence.
A 2016 study conducted by Kanazawa and Lee showed this effect.
More intelligent people derived less happiness from frequent socialization.
Their well-being is less related to group membership.
They value independence more than integration. Their solitude is often an active and deliberate choice.
However, this independence is often misinterpreted as social rejection.
The burden of conscience is a major factor in isolation.
Intelligence is also the ability to perceive flaws.
They see hypocrisy, irrationality, or injustices more clearly.
This hyper-awareness of the world can be an emotional weight.
They are more prone to existential anxiety.
They constantly challenge established conventions.
Their deep thought leads to cognitive overload.
They tire out faster in demanding social settings.
Their brains process everything, including the unspoken and underlying dynamics.
Hence, a strong need to withdraw in order to decontaminate oneself mentally.
Solitude becomes an essential refuge.
A space for classifying and managing internal complexity.
They often suffer from hypersensitivity, not only to ideas, but also to emotions.
They absorb too much contextual information,
Which can lead to empathic exhaustion.
They are frustrated by the lack of logic in collective decisions. Their mental rigor clashes with the universal cognitive bias.
This constant friction with the simple world drives withdrawal.
they tend to idealize the perfect relationship.
A connection based on total transparency and truth.
An expectation rarely satisfied within human complexity.
Finally, there is the statistical rarity of peers.
Very intelligent people are, by definition, a minority.
The compatible population pool is intrinsically small.
Finding someone with a similar intellectual level is rare.
This is even more true if their specific interests are also uncommon.
The effect of geographical scarcity amplifies the feeling of loneliness.
They are forced to actively seek out these relationships.
The lived experience of these individuals is fundamentally different from the majority.
This difference creates a natural barrier.
Intelligence places an implicit boundary between itself and the rest of the world. It is essential to distinguish between solitude and involuntary isolation.
For keen minds, solitude is not a punishment.
It is often a necessity and a source of growth. Chosen solitude is an inner laboratory. This is the space where creativity and thought can flourish without distraction.
Intelligence is not a condemnation to relational failure.
It is an invitation to prioritize quality over quantity. The challenge is to find a balance.
Enter the need for cognitive independence.
And the fundamental human need for deep connection. It is about accepting this unique functioning.
And to value the rare but precious intellectual resonances.
A richly interior life is the compensation for the absence of crowds.